Welcome to Hardin Fitness. Today we're going to talk about the 3 most important reasons why corrective exercise may be right for you. My name is Lance Hardin. I own Hardin Fitness. I've been training for 20 years. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of clients and thousands of training hours. I moved my business onto the online platform 3 years ago, so now I can work with anyone from anywhere around the world via webcam. So I want to give you the 3 reasons why it is that I think corrective exercise is essential. It's my specialty. I think it's essential. One is, what is it? These are 3 questions. What is it? Why do we need it? And how do we get it? So let's get into it. By the way, if you like these videos, please subscribe. Okay, let's talk about the first reason. What is it? Well, corrective exercise is being able to go in and take muscles that are too loose and tighten them up and strengthen them, take muscles that are too tight and loosen them up so that we can kind of get the body functioning optimally. I like to think of it in reference to a car. So most of us would like to think that we're a car like this. But the truth is that most of us, if we've been sitting around and have been lethargic, or we're at the office 8 hours a day and we're sitting, we end up being more like a car like this. Now, it's not that there's anything wrong with this car. It's a great car if it's functioning optimally, it's working well. The problem is, if it hasn't been used for a number of years, you're going to have to take it into the mechanic. They're going to have to fix some things. We've got to fix the alignment, got to tune up the engine, got to work on the brakes. There's things you got to do so you can get that car out on the highway going 80 miles an hour. That's the first reason. Let's look at reason number 2. All right, reason number 2. I want to give you the perspective of a corrective exercise specialist. Now, this is going to be minimal. There's a lot more detail that goes into it, but I'm trying to make it palatable for you to easily understand and not burden you with a lot of jargon. So let's make it simple and take a look at me doing a simple movement pattern, a basic movement pattern, the squat. And let's break that down from my perspective. I'm going to start by looking at posture, and posture, boy, we want that to look good. And the way we're going to do that is from the ear down to the ankle. We're supposed to be able to hit ear, center, shoulder, center of the hip through the ankle. That proper posture is key to being able to maintain our position through the squat. All right, second thing we want to talk about is ground force and gravity. You have gravity hitting you here that is pushing in on you from this standing position, and you've also got ground force down here that is pushing up on you. This is always compacting you, and through proper core conditioning, you're able to maintain, to the best of your ability, a good postural set for a squat. Okay, so the next thing I want to go through, I want you to look at this posture stick right here. We go over this in the Hardin Fitness blog at lancehardinfitness.com, and we're going to do a video about it, one of the most valuable tools. This tool right here allows me, if I can get the base of my skull, my shoulder blades, and my hips on it, it keeps me in good posture. I use this tool a lot. All right, so that tool is going to be very helpful in maintaining that and getting us a feel of what it's like to be in proper position. Next thing I'm going to want to show you is the Lordosis that I have right here in my back. We don't have a flat back, and we don't want too much curve. Something we got to evaluate and figure out how to get just the right amount of Lordosis. One of the big things I'm going to show you here is how I'm going to load my abdomen. I'm going to load this up by filling it up with air and then pulling in against the air, creating intra-abdominal compression. You will see me do that. That is going to help lengthen the spine, protect my back, and maintain good postural set during the squat itself. And then finally, the last thing I'm going to want you to see is how I load the hips. I'm also not going to let my knees move too far forward. So there's a lot going on, but let's take a look at it and you'll see. We'll point out each part as we go. I've got my postural stance set, but you want to see me take that belly breath. So watch, I'm going to fill up my air. I'm going to fill it up there and pull up and in. Now, that pull up and in, I'm now loaded and ready here, compressed. and ready to take this move. Now, actually, we use this in every move that we do, every exercise that we do, to varying degrees depending on what the weight of the lift is. For many people, a bodyweight squat is a huge lift. There's a lot of weight going on there. So we want to make sure that we understand how this works. One of the biggest points that I hit home at Hardin Fitness, how to get that working properly. I'm going to maintain that intra-abdominal compression as I move into the squat. I'm going to head down, and you can see we've really gone for hips loaded back and the knees slightly forward, but you see the stick is still in position, keeping my postural set. Being able to do this with no weights or nothing that you're trying to accentuate gravity with is very important. From that, we can move in various degrees, but if we don't have this down, we're going to have a big problem. Okay, so now we'll move back up out of the squat, drive through the hips, back up to the standing position, and again, starting with a nice postural set. I've got my lordosis there, and I'm ready to begin another load in the abdomen. Now, when you get really good, you load that as you go. If we are to look at posture this time from the ear down to the ankle, which is what we were basing it off of, we are not going through the center of the shoulder or the center of the hip. This posture right here, especially with this forward head posture, is going to create cervical issues over time. We're going to have problems right in here. And also, the forward shoulders is going to create tight pectoral muscles here. These guys are going to get tight. And these guys back here, these lat muscles and rhomboids, are going to become very weak and flaccid. Now, we also talked about ground force and gravity. All right, we've got gravity over here that's working down into us. And then we've got ground force down here working up into us. And in this scenario, we are creating compaction against this poor postural set. If this builds up over time, you're setting yourself up for an injury, not to mention if you are accentuating it with rapid movement or accentuations to gravity or weight. Okay, next, let's look at that idea of the posture stick that was going to go through the base of the skull, through the shoulders, the shoulder blades, and into the hip. Well, we can see here that the shoulder blades are nowhere near going through that stick. So we have, again, poor postural set, which is why the posture stick is so effective, and it feels so awkward at the beginning, but it's such an effective tool in helping us feel what good posture feels like. Okay, I also want you to notice that I am not going to create, you're not going to see it because of my arm, but I'm not going to create intra-abdominal pressure. And by not creating intra-abdominal pressure, I'm going to have an absorbent amount of weight going to the back and also going to the knees, which you'll notice I'll end up knee loading more. So posture has basically taken us out of a positive set to negotiate this exercise and put us in jeopardy over time, especially if we're going to multiply repetitions and then, of course, accentuating gravity. So let's take a look at what it looks like when I go down into that squat. Let's take a look at it. All right, so down I go, and at the bottom here, I'm going to point out again that, one, I've created an absorbent amount of pressure on my knees, which is not going to be helpful. I have taken and avoided a lot of hip load, which is something we really have to be able to focus on. If we look at the posture stick idea that we had in the other video, working from the base of the skull down to the hips, we are way out again. All right, as you can see, there's a lot going on there. We really want to correct these imbalances so that we can function well. And as we engage our program, exercise program, or again, daily life, we're negotiating it, streamlining it with the most efficiency possible. Now let's look at reason number 3. All right, reason number 3, how to get it. Well, evaluation. You want to be evaluated by a specialist so they can see where these compensations and imbalances are occurring and create an individualized program for you. It's specific to you and your imbalances. So a corrective exercise specialist is going to take the time to figure out where these compensations are happening and give you a program to fix them. Now at Hardin Fitness, lancehardinfitness.com, you can go. I will evaluate you for free via webcam, anywhere that you're getting this, and talk about what it would take to get you on the road to functioning optimally.